Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 25th day of October. Well, this month's done and dusted by the looks of it. Well, there's so much that we need to talk to you about. Well, right now, we have the 9 o'clock news in which we will have the Daily India report, as we did not bring that to you on Saturday. Saturday being Gopio Queensland's India Day Fair, and we were pretty much involved there throughout the rest of the day. So that news will be coming today in the 9 segment. And at 10 a.m. we have a very special program in Hindi, which is presented by Madhu Khanna. And as she interviews Dr. Dipti, who is the dentist, they run a lot of dentistry, and she's also doing lots of community work and other things. How does she balance work and family life? And hosted, that beautiful program will be hosted by Madhu Khanna, who normally does our online radio interviews. This is the first time that she will be doing a live Facebook live interview right here in the studio. So that's at 10 a.m. Well, right now, let's take a look at what's happening here in Queensland. So Anastasia Palaszczuk, our MP, is asking us of what it means for the Queensland borders as there are restrictions that are being eased. It means greater freedom for people who are fully vaccinated. So that's a key point, including crossing the border with interstate hotspots in time for Christmas. Christmas being the key at this point in time, so being that deadline, and it's good to see that we are all working towards it so that families can be together in Christmas. Travel restrictions will ease when 70% and 80% of eligible Queenslanders are vaccinated. As with every decision Queensland government has taken throughout the global pandemic, this is a measured and cautious plan. And she's urging everyone who's eligible to come forward and get vaccinated now. So, there's our 3-step plan. When we get to 70%, when we get to 80%, or when we get to 90%. So 70% you can enter Queensland from a hotspot. When we reach up to 80%, you can enter Queensland from a hotspot. 90% no border restrictions or quarantine for fully vaccinated people. So that's the point. So she is also, the further says that an important note on restrictions from the 80% mark, additional public health restrictions will apply to unvaccinated people. Further details will be confirmed. For example, venues and events that will require all patrons and staff to be vaccinated may be able to operate without public health restrictions. However, venues and events which allow unvaccinated people may continue to be subject to a range of public health restrictions such as capacity and density limits. This is something which we faced at India Day Fair as well, and we had to operate under a reduced capacity because it was an open and public, free event to the public, as we have never ever charged entry fee for our functions. Well, of course, yesterday was the Music Junction, and Sabi did a wonderful job right here from these studios as she hosted Navratri special, which was very, very well received. So here's a glimpse of what people got a taste of.
Vindya Shirodini Vasini Vishnu Vilasini Jishnunuте Bhagavati Hesiti Kanta Kutumbini Puri Kutumbini Puri Krute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapatini Sailasute Varshini Durtaradarshini Durmukhamarshini Harsharate Tribhuvana Poshini Shankaratoshini Kilbishamoshini Gosharate Danujani Roshini Diti Sutaroshini Durmadasoshini Sindhusute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasura Mardini Ramya Kapatini Sailasute
So the full version of that can be viewed on our Facebook page or the YouTube channel, whichever takes a fancy, but it is a very well presented. So of course, a live program, when it is everything's done live, there are obviously some little technical glitches here and there, but overall it is a very, very beautiful program. If you haven't watched it, you should go and watch it. Well, right now, or if we look at all the other states, and let's go and take a look at what's going to be happening. First of all, Victoria.
We've said we want to normalise this. We want to move through this gateway, as difficult and as challenging as that will be for those who do become unwell, the vast, vast majority of whom will be unvaccinated Victorians. That will put significant pressure on our health system. That'll be very challenging for our nurses and the rest of the health team. But there's essentially a deal here. There's a contract. There's a fundamental agreement that we have reached with the Victorian community. We asked you to get vaccinated. You have done that in record time and in record numbers. And that means we have to open the place up, and we have to have a series of rules. We have to have settings that are the lightest touch possible, that are the simplest, that are the most easily understood, that are as close to normal life as possible. That's what we committed to, and that's what we are going to deliver. Can I just quickly run through the numbers of the day, and then I'm going to talk about what happens when we get to 90%, and then Martin is going to speak about what happens from the end of this week when we get to 80%. So I'll try and be as quick as I can to get to that. 39,250 vaccines were administered yesterday in state clinics. Just goes to show, we're open. The lockdown's ended. We've got some very exciting announcements to make today, but we've got to finish this off. People have got to go and get their second dose. Bring that second dose forward if you can. Turn up for your appointment. If you're on the fence and haven't made an appointment yet, please go and do that. It'll keep you out of hospital and it'll help us get...
And it will keep you out of hospital. And as the man said, that Martin Foley would describe what would happen once we reach those numbers. So let's bring on Martin.
The national plan for opening in Victoria and the Victorian roadmap, based on the 80% vaccinations for 16-year-olds and above, will be achieved on all the projections that we've got by this Friday, the 29th of October. And as a result of that, from 6 p.m, the public health orders will be changed as per the Victorian roadmap that we distributed over a month ago, and with some further easings. So, as a result of that, just to refresh everyone's memory, most indoor settings, that's restaurants, pubs, gyms, hairdressers, all will open with no caps, subject to a 1 person per 4 square metre limit, if all staff and patrons are fully vaccinated. So you get access to these settings if you are fully vaccinated as both a patron, a customer, and as a employee and workforce. In regards to most outdoor settings will remain at 1 person per 2 square metre limit, up to the 500 people limit, where both staff and patrons are fully vaccinated. Indoor and outdoor settings will also be covered by those density quotas as well, for things like weddings, funerals, religious gatherings, again, if all persons are vaccinated. Entertainment venues will reopen for indoor seated venues. That includes cinemas, theatres, and they will operate at 75% capacity for 1 person per 4 square metres, up to 1,000 people. For non-seated entertainment venues, that will be 1 person per 4 square metre with no patron cap. Outdoor seated and non-seated venues will include stadiums, zoos, tourism attractions. They'll all be at 1 person per 2 square metre limit, up to 5,000 people, again where staff and patrons are fully vaccinated. Events, including music and festivals, will be able to host up to 5,000 attendees, subject to the restrictions that might apply to that venue. The Chief Health Officer may also grant approval for larger crowds, for significant events and for venues under the public events framework that so many of those venues have become used to over the course of the pandemic.
Yes, they have become used to over the course of the pandemic, as was mentioned, because we are quite adaptable. So we have adapted to the conditions, and everyone's started working under those conditions and doing the right thing. But many times, on many places and many places, once you often wonder, how well is this managed, or is it just something that has been talked about and done and is not actually being followed, meaning, people just sort of tend to turn a blind eye. Well, right now, moving on, let's look at this report here of Catherine Bennett.
Well, let's get more on those easing of restrictions announced for Victoria and bring in epidemiologist Catherine Bennett from Deakin University. Good morning, Catherine. It doesn't feel like it was so long ago that we were still sort of diving into what felt like bad news, and now things are moving ahead at a cracking pace.
It all comes off the back of fantastic vaccination numbers, Lisa, and that really does make a difference. And you can hear it in the confidence behind the announcements now. And in particular, we're seeing it in terms of, even though our case numbers are high, we are seeing our levelling out of hospitalisations at much lower rates than predicted, and lower rates than Sydney experienced, at the same point as they were kind of at the peak of their wave. Even though we've got more case numbers, we've got far fewer hospitalisations. So that's showing how the vaccine works. That should give us all confidence.
I guess the fact that we do start off with those much higher case numbers mean that there'll probably be breakthrough infections even for people who are vaccinated. We've got a bigger chance of catching COVID.
That's right, Lisa. I think we do have to be aware that living with COVID means actually exactly that. It is out in the community, and in Victoria it has been a bigger footprint to the wave. We've had cases right across Metro Melbourne and in a number of regional centres as well. So I think that's important that people do remember that, and that the rules are kind of the base rules. It's what we all do that will still make a difference in keeping this in check. You don't want the infection. Whether you're in hospital or not isn't the only measure we should worry about individually. It's about keeping our families and households safe. So those little things that everyone can still do, particularly while we have things like mask rules in place, will make a difference over these next critical weeks as we really start this transition process.
And I've been
As we start this transition process, and it is very, very important, to keep those loved ones safe and sound. So the numbers will increase, but the hospital systems will have a little bit more burden, but this is the way of life moving forward, and we'll have to get used to it. Well, General Freeman says that there's a renewed call to get more Indigenous people to get vaccinated. Here's that report.
There's a new push this morning to get more Indigenous Australians immunised against COVID. The Coordinator General of the National COVID Vaccine Task Force, Lieutenant General John Frewen, joins us now from Canberra. General Frewen, good morning.
Hi, Michael.
Firstly, Indigenous Australians, the double dose rate is closer to 50%. It's more than 70% for all of Australia. I want to ask you about this new campaign, but firstly, why has it been so poor? Has just been a shortage of vaccines for Indigenous Australians?
No, supply hasn't been the concern, Michael. The Indigenous people have been prioritised since early in the program, but we are encountering there's hesitancy in some areas, there's misinformation, there's complacency, so there's a range of challenges. But really encouragingly over the last fortnight, the first dose rates for Indigenous Australians have exceeded the national first dose rates, so that's a positive sign, and we're just hoping to keep building on that momentum.
And what's the basis of the new campaign you're launching? How practically will you get more jabs and arms for Indigenous Australians?
Yeah, so there's some great ads that have been done called For All of Us, focused very specifically on Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders. There's some great Indigenous talent in there. There's Samantha Harris, there's Baker Boy and others. And they really are just talking about if you want to both protect Indigenous heritage and protect Indigenous future, that you need to get vaccinated.
Okay, there's another campaign as well, trying to get vaccination stragglers, I guess, for want of a better expression, to go up and get the jab.
Yes, there is that push there to get Indigenous people to be vaccinated as well. Well, away from COVID and the vaccination, which has been dominating the scene for such a long time, now a new breast cancer drug and IVF. Let's take a look at that report.
I'm delighted to be able to announce that as of the 1st of November, a breakthrough new treatment for metastatic breast cancer, in particular double negative, which means that for women who are in later stages of breast cancer, inoperable or metastatic, they will have access to Verzenio, which can save their lives, protect their lives and extend their lives. It would otherwise cost $80,000 a year and can now be available for as little as $6.60 per script under the PBS. And this will help 1,600 Australian women in any year. And that's 1,600 opportunities for a better life and a longer life, and hope for 1,600 families and all of their extended circles. So, as we've been fighting COVID, it's immensely important that we continue to focus on all of the general health items. A second thing is a new listing for Medicare from the 1st of November for Australian families, and this is a better, stronger pathway for IVF, so new hope for Australian families. Some of you may remember that we established under the Medical Research Future Fund Mackenzie's Mission, named in honour of a beautiful little 9-month-old girl, Mackenzie Casella, who lost her battle with spinal muscular atrophy. And SMA is a genetic condition, and other genetic conditions include cystic fibrosis, include Fragile X syndrome, Huntington's disease, and some of these lead to beautiful young children that are born and struggle and either have lifelong debilitating conditions or lose their lives at a very young age or an early age.
So that's good news there. We've all been talking about the vaccination and the COVID-19, and here's this good news about, the breast cancer drug and IVF screening listed on PBS. So that would be very beneficial to at least 1,600 patients per year, as per that report. Well, right now, let's take a message from our sponsors before we go into Daily India Report.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And real estate is there well, and don't forget that on Wednesday we have the real estate update with Usha Chandra right here in these studios. Until then, it will be goodbye from that segment. But right now, it's time to go to our Daily India Report, and with that, we'd like to welcome Ankita.
Welcome to the Daily India Report that brings you glimpses of the changing India and the growing engagement of the Indian diaspora with India. In our first story, world leaders and international organizations have lauded India achieving the 1 billion mark of COVID-19 vaccinations. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the nation in the morning of 22nd October, a day after India scripted history by having completed 1 billion COVID-19 vaccinations. The Prime Minister congratulated Indians and frontline workers for the feat. He complimented the citizens by saying India faces minimal vaccine hesitancy when compared to even developed nations. The Prime Minister noted that India's CoWIN assisted common people and helped medical professionals in the country in the vaccination process. Several world leaders congratulated India on achieving the milestone. Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih took to Twitter and wrote, "Congratulations to PM at Narendra Modi and the Government of India for administering 1 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccines, displaying the innovation and solidarity of the Indian people. Thank you also, India, for supporting Maldives' COVID-19 recovery and vaccination efforts." Modi also responded to a tweet by Bhutan Prime Minister Lothe Tshering. The World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus congratulated Modi, scientists, health workers and citizens for their efforts to achieve vaccine equity targets. WHO Regional Director for Southeast Asia, Dr. Poonam Khetarpal Singh, also lauded the landmark. Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar said the achievement implies that, quote, "if we Indians are determined about something, we can achieve it," end quote. Dr. Kumar claimed that India would achieve the target of vaccinating the entire population by the end of December 2021. Major credit for this achievement goes to the Indian Railways and airline carriers in India, which helped transport the doses to various regions of the country. India's leading carrier Indigo transported a total of 679 million doses from January 12th to October 20th in the year 2021. The airline carried 1,727 tons of COVID vaccine via 4,505 flights, securing a leading share of 67.9% in vaccine transportation during this period. India's defense in the eastern sector gets much needed advanced firepower as there is mounting tension on the line of actual control with China. India has deployed newly upgraded L-70 air defense guns near the line of actual control with China, known as the eastern sector. Also, several units of the 155mm Bofors and the M777 lightweight howitzers have been deployed as part of a strategy to ramp up its defensive and offensive capabilities against China. India has also set up a series of integrated defended locations along the LAC. IDLA is a multi-tiered defensive system in which the infantry, artillery, aviation, air defense, mechanized and armored columns of the army work as one unit backed by the Indian force assets. The army has worked on faster movement of equipment and troops from one location to another by air. The focus has also been on offensive capabilities, high-altitude helicopter operations, and also deploying new versions of various kinds of missiles. A number of fortified underground bunkers have been created and the basic firearm of the infantry soldier has been upgraded. All the infantry troops posted in the forward areas along the line of actual control have been fully equipped with 6 Sawyer 716 rifles. The large share of new inductions, including the light machine guns, have largely been directed towards the Ladakh sector where the Indian and Chinese troops stand face off. In the eastern sector, which has seen the raising of a new aviation brigade besides transferring all surveillance drones from the artillery to the aviation wing of the army, India has focused on both defensive and offensive capabilities. UK Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs and also for Women and Equalities, Elizabeth Truss is in India on a 3-day visit. UK Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs and also for Women and Equalities, Elizabeth Truss, is in India on a 3-day high-level visit starting October 22nd. In Delhi, Truss will hold talks with Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on 22nd October on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. Then the UK Minister travels to Mumbai on 23rd October. During the virtual summit between the UK and Indian Prime Ministers held on 4th May 2021, the bilateral relationship between the two nations was elevated to comprehensive strategic partnership. The ties have been marked by regular high-level exchanges and growing cooperation in diverse areas. During the Truss visit, the two sides will review the Roadmap 2030 launched during the virtual summit. The objective is to further deepen the partnership across various sectors like trade, science and technology, innovation, defense, climate, education and health sectors. Trust will announce a series of technology and infrastructure tie-ups with India worth over $82 million to boost both economies and help developing countries grow in a clean and sustainable way, according to the British government. Truss and Jaishankar will announce the creation of a new Strategic Futures Forum, bringing together leading figures from government, business and academia in both countries. The forum will drive closer links in priority areas like tech and security and shape the longer-term strategic vision for India-UK partnership to build on the tech expertise in both countries. India is targeting exports worth $100 billion from textiles in the next 5 years. The Indian government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has set an ambitious target of achieving $100 billion from textiles exports in the next 5 years, Minister of State for Textiles Darshana Jardosh said on 21st October. Addressing at the inauguration of TexCon, the minister said India will remain committed to ensuring the implementation of all development schemes and bring in many more schemes in pursuit of the targeted aspiration. The government has already announced the Mitra, Mega Integrated Textile Region and Apparel scheme to attract new investments and build mega textile parks in the country. Other significant initiatives include the launch of the PLI scheme to achieve manufacturing excellence and RODTEP to enhance export competitiveness. Textile Secretary Upendra Prasad Singh said the government was proactively addressing challenges to facilitate the creation of an enabling environment for the growth and development of the textiles and apparel sector. He said India was capable of meeting the domestic as well as the global market demands. Bollywood actor Ananya Pandey is being questioned for a second day by the NCB in the drugs case involving Aryan Khan, son of Bollywood super-duper star Shah Rukh Khan. Bollywood starlet, whose credits include the film Student of the Year, Ananya Pandey, appeared before the Narcotics Control Bureau for the second day in a row on 22nd October for questioning in the drugs case in which superstar Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan is behind the bars. Ananya, the daughter of actor Chunky Pandey, reached the NCB office in Mumbai. The 22-year-old was interrogated for more than an hour by agency officers regarding WhatsApp chats she had with Aryan. She had come to the NCB office accompanied by her father, and amid heavy police deployment and media glare, hours after a team of officers searched her home, seized her mobile phone and laptop and summoned her to record her statement. The NCB officials are yet to clarify her role, if any, in the case. Around the same time, another team from the anti-drugs agency visited Shah Rukh Khan's Bandra residence, Mannat, to collect documents related to his son. This was a little after Shah Rukh Khan briefly met Aryan, who is lodged in Mumbai's Arthur Road jail for the first time since his arrest in the drugs abuse case. Aryan and a few others were held on October 3rd after the NCB raided a Goa-bound cruise ship off the Mumbai coast and claimed to have seized drugs including charas. The Bombay High Court will now hear the 23-year-old's bail application on October 26th. Bollywood's famous action director Rohit Shetty's upcoming film is Suryavanshi. The title song from the movie has been dropped on 21st October. Titled Aila Re Aila, the song has already garnered more than 30 million views within 24 hours of release. Bollywood is raking in huge views and rapidly emerging from nearly 2 years of COVID-19 shutdown. On 21st October, 30 million views were generated within 24 hours of releasing the title song called Aila Re Aila of the much-awaited film Suryavanshi. This bodes well for the film industry in the 2021 Diwali festive season. Bollywood has been hit hard due to no production and theatres being shut down during COVID-19 for much of the past 21 months. The mood and spirit of Bollywood revival with Diwali 2021 was set right by the song. Suryavanshi is directed by famous action helmer Rohit Shetty. The song Aila Re Aila has the fans excited because it brings together all the three corps of Rohit Shetty's cop universe. Ajay Devgan, Akshay Kumar and Ranveer Singh dance without caring of the world in the song video. The song sets the tone for celebrations and brings together all the three police officers in their uniforms. The song has been sung by Diler Mehendi, music has been recreated by Tanishq Bagchi, and lyrics have been penned by Shabbir Ahmed. Taking to Instagram, Ajay Devgan, Akshay Kumar and Ranveer Singh updated fans on the release of the song. Sharing a clip, Khiladi Akshay wrote, "It's nothing short of a celebration when Sooryavanshi, Singham and Simba come together. Hashtag Aila Re Aila song out now. Link in bio. Hashtag Sooryavanshi releasing on 5th November. Hashtag back to cinemas." Sooryavanshi will have a worldwide theatrical release on November 5th. Director Rohit Shetty shared on social media that the film will be releasing this Diwali, soon after Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray announced the reopening of cinema halls in the state from October 22nd. That's all for this bulletin of Daily India Report. Thank you for watching.
And thank you very much, Ankita, for that report. Well, as we know that every day at 9 a.m. we have the Daily India Report on the news, and at 10 a.m. we have our daily special reports. And today we have Madhu Khanna interviewing Deepthi Namal, and that will be a wonderful interview. We'll see you back here at 10 a.m.